Нужно запускать АЗ-5. Произошел резкий скачок мощности.
Я включаю систему аварийного снижения мощности.
Pressing the emergency AZ5 button automatically lowers the boron control rods to reduce power. But it has an unforeseen and fatal effect.
The boron rods were in fact tipped with graphite, and that short moment when they are first inserted into the reactor, the graphite in fact leads to a surge in the power, not a reduction of power.
When the AZ5 button was pushed until the explosion, the power increased not 2- or 3-fold, it increased hundreds of times.
Акимов, что там у тебя? Акимов! Это не у меня, Анатолий Степанович. Что происходит? Это у Столярчука.
Реактивность удваивается каждую секунду.
Это невозможно.
Уровень мощности превысил 530 мегаватт.
Наконечники сливает с крышки реактора. Ребята! Ребята! Люди!
Котик дома. Котик. Интересно. А кто играется в котика? Никита играется.
Steam pressure at the reactor's hotspot can't be contained. 50 control and fuel rod shafts are torn apart. Power rockets, turning the whole reactor into a volcanic steam pressure cooker.
Що таке? Стріл? Вогонь такий, вогонь якийсь.
Куда делся свет?
Нет, что случилось?
Пропало питание!
Акимов,
Это
что?
не это у тебя опять! Что
Посмотри
происходит?
немедленно!
Куда Акимов, сбегай к Столярчуку!
Куда энергия девалась?
Что случилось? Никто не знает.
Почему света? Скорее, 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 посмотрите все.
Посмотрите на пульт. Что показывают датчики?
After the first explosion, I thought the problem was a hydraulic blast in the diuretors. I wanted to try to switch the setting to compensate, but then the second explosion happened.
Seconds after the first blast, we heard the second, a massive explosion. I didn't know what it was. We only felt the blast wave. It smashed my door.
With the 500-ton safety cap blown off and air being sucked in below, the reactor becomes a giant blowtorch, blasting 50 tons of nuclear fuel into the atmosphere, 10 times Hiroshima. 700 tons of radioactive graphite are blown around the plant. Clouds of dust are sucked into the control room, accompanied by a strange smell. Gases released from the core leave a metallic taste, like ozone after a thunderstorm. It is in fact the stench of death. The dust is the cloak of the invisible killer of radiation. The control room operators are far enough away from the reactor core to survive the explosion, but some will wish they had not. Many will face days, weeks, even years of agony as radiation burns them to death from the inside.
What struck me was my wall. It's cast concrete, a meter thick. I saw the wall in the corner of my room bending, as if it was made from rubber, like this. It got dark immediately. The lights went out. Steam wrapped around everything. Dust, steam, darkness, and a horrible hissing noise.
Что это? Война. Я пойду к себе на пост.
I thought it could be an earthquake, or maybe war. The reactor was the last thing on my mind. That was my operator, Viktor Dektorenko. I only recognized him by his voice. You see, his face was burnt, all covered in blood. Victor was still in shock, but he said to me that he had been near the pumps together with Rusanovsky, the second pump operator, and that he stayed there and I should help them. When I reached him, he was all shivery. You know, when a man is in shock? He just indicated with his hands and said, but what did I find? Ruins. That's all I saw. If he had been there, he would have been buried under the pillars.
То есть там вообще там, где был потолок.
In place of the ceiling, there was only sky. A sky full of stars. At 3 a.m. I was vomiting at full strength. Those were the first signs of radiation sickness. And at 6 o'clock I couldn't even go to the first aid station myself. They brought me there, put me in an ambulance and took me to the medical station.
Sasha Yevchenko will survive. Others are dying. The radioactivity pours out of the reactor to be blown across Byelorussia towards the heart of Europe. The real nightmare is still to come.